What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. I have a set few important writers I always keep track of. I kind of stalk, I guess, actually. And Medler recently made a post about the current state of bot lane, especially after all of these majors have appeared. Medler is one of the head designers, by the way. It's probably something most of you won't have seen yet, so I wanted to go over it today. I personally think these could actually be kind of big changes for the game over the next few months, with AD carries getting stronger and junglers getting weaker. So I've set up a page on Qt where I can find out more from you guys. If you can head on over and just let me know what you think, whether you think it will be good or not, that'd be awesome, so I can use it in a video this week. YouTube comments are really hard to sort through, but I can actually sort them and read them on Qt. Anyway, so this post is called Current Thoughts on a Marksman, but as you can tell by the title, it's not really what he talked about as much, and this is not the jungle experience thing either. There is a link down below if you'd like to check it out for yourself, but there are a few general things his team are looking at right now. So first one is marksman and supports might not be strong enough, so looking at their game impact and power levels. Whether the marksman power curves are too slow, so should there be more mid-game items, more mid-game power, rather than a massive late-game focus. Like, this I actually think is probably one of the biggest issues with bot lane at the moment. It sounds like Riot wants to offer at least some mid-game AD carries, and they might be doing that with lethality. We'll have to see. It also could be whether marksmen actually have a way to kill tanks properly. This is part of what they are supposed to be good at, right? But it doesn't really feel like that at the moment, and that needs to be changed. Also, in the general game, how they can tweak items to make sure tank champions stay as tank champions. They don't have too much damage, or damage champions don't get too tanky to deal with. The last one was buffing Duskblade and Edge of Night. This one was actually buried in the comments, so most people are not going to have seen it, but he said Ghostblade is fine, Duskblade and Edge of Night aren't strong enough, and it might help some ability-based AD carries. Now, this all seems really good and everything if they do something about it. These seem like some of the biggest problems playing AD, but the first real thing he actually talks about, the biggest priority for Riot right now, is toning down junglers and how dominant they are. It's no real surprise, like, they are top tier and game changers right now in Season 7, right? More farm and gold in the jungle, more ganks, more importance around objectives, towers, dragons and stuff. He talks about junglers being able to gank more often and more successfully than they should be able to, which does tie into bot lane because we're the main focus of the ganks, and Medler is sure that this is the main problem right now. The main thing making AD carries feel weak and powerless is the constant and too strong jungle pressure we get, according to him at least. Now, they are changing how the jungle experience works on the PB. Basically, it's down about 25% overall on your first clear now. It's going to affect early game junglers and mess up early ganks a lot more. Now, though, he's specifically saying those aren't enough, and there will be even more jungle nerfs. So what we know from him just saying that is more the gank junglers are going to get bent over pretty hard in the next few months. Jungle experience on the first clear will reduce snowball and lane impact anyway, right? Like, it might not seem like that huge, but I think for early game gankers, it's actually going to hurt more. With them already weaker, they're then going to target them another way to make sure that they can't gank as much, or they aren't going to be as successful. The as much part is probably making jungle camps harder or take longer. It's the only real way to slow them down. As successful might be nerfing them across the board somehow in power, like jungle items maybe, or even tower buffs, so bot lane isn't that big of a target. That's kind of why I wanted the page on Qt to see what you think about this, because those things actually could be really big deals. Either way, junglers are probably going to get some attention big time soon, and that's not the only way. Courage is also still too strong, according to Medler. He thinks this keystone is partly what is making tanks feel unkillable. So like what I just said, tanks doing more damage than us not being able to kill them. Courage is just making that seem a lot worse, even though some champions do need nerfs. It might just be nerfing it in a way that targets the best cases, so probably damage champions like Vi or Hecarim that abuse it to survive diving in, but it also might be targeting everyone who used it too. Now we actually get into the bot lane stuff properly in AD carries though. So Draven and Lucian we already know are the main focuses for 7.1 because they're getting 2 buffs. Lucian's Q damage is up and his passive damage as well. Draven's Q damage is also up, and it now works with bonus AD rather than total and should be better in general. They're also looking at some other champions for 7.2 and 7.3, so that is 3 patches ahead actually. Ashe is one that got name dropped, so she should be appearing soon. Honestly, if they're talking about 3 patches in advance, which is over a month away, then they must be looking at almost every single AD carry and giving them some kind of attention or buff, except probably Twitch and Caitlyn. It's kind of strange really. He says that junglers are the problem, but then they're going to be looking at other AD carries to buff in the next few patches after that. Now, if you buff AD carries and nerf junglers, there's going to be a massive power jump. This is where it gets a bit weird though. So he says that they've always wanted to have more variety in bot lane. It's not actually an AD carry position, but they see it as the farming for late game position. Ziggs is the only one getting a lot of attention at the moment, actually a decent play rate now similar to other AD carries in most regions, even though he goes on to say Ziggs is at an appropriate power level apparently. I'm not sure I agree about that, to be honest. Ziggs is really strong right now and he does everything an AD carry does but better, but it even sounds like it's something that Riot wants to keep. Now, they do want AD carries to excel bot lane, which is good. They want them to be the main place they are played, but they want other classes played there as well. But it does seem a little bit strange. Maybe it seems so strange right now because we aren't used to this and AD carries are just a bit too weak anyway. Like, if AD carries were strong anyway, right? Like last season, with Armor Pen, you stick a mage bot lane against a Jhin or a Lucian or Misfortune with Ghostblade and it'd get absolutely crushed early. ability. Now we aren't as strong in the laner phase, we're more about late game and crit and stuff, mages can survive and even bully us, and that is kind of where the problem is. The good thing is, at least at the bottom, he says if AD carries are getting pushed out bot lane because they're so weak, then Riot are prepared to jump in straight away and fix it. So basically, AD carries should be getting buffed soon, especially Ashe. Ziggs and other mages are probably here to stay as well. Riot aren't going to push them out of bot lane or nerf them or change it or anything like that. It means that we're going to have to get used to playing against them. It's just going to be a bit different this season. Even though we're saying that AD carries home is still bot lane and Riot will keep it that way. So we should be seeing most of the AD carries and a few mages bot lane. This was really just a short video to catch you guys up to speed with this. I think it's pretty interesting and it could actually mean the game changes a fair amount, especially for junglers and AD carries over the next few months. Let me know what you think about this on QT so I can track it. It will also help me out, so that would be much appreciated. Thank you for watching, but for now, let's go to the robots.